and his son Jacob, and his daughter Emma.
That's Emma's Jacob's daughter.
Lisa must be some. There she is, way back there, Danny's wife. And Adam is there, and I'm not sure where Shelley is.
Right in front of you?
Right in front of me. And Sharon is our host. Sharon and David, who are our hosts today. Thank you so much. And the grandchildren are the twins, Piper and Paige. Right here. And Vivi, we're missing one grandchild who's taking the ACTs or SATs or something today. So I'm sorry Zara can't be here. Now we can go on. So anyway, now that you know the whole family, let's see, where are we starting? The grandchildren wanted to start with the speeches. We weren't going to have them do it, and when they heard about them, they insisted. So come on up, grandchildren, whoever wants to speak.
Is it true that this party was insisted upon by Marty?
It was insisted upon by me.
I'll go after
You gotta speak right into it.
You got to hold it right up to your face.
Okay.
Tell them who you are.
I'm Vivi. I'm Shelly and Adam's daughter. Tootsie's favorite granddaughter, obviously.
Wrong.
I just want to say that Tootsie, we love you so much. All of us really do. And we're so happy that you get to have this party with all these people here that care about you. And I hope 80 is your best year yet.
All right.
Hi, I'm Paige, and I'm the youngest, so obviously I'm the favorite.
Okay, copy is what I said.
We don't know where she got this hair.
I just want to say I love you. You're a big part of my life, especially the basketball part, and my favorite Tootsie ever. You're awesome and unbelievable. You've watched me grow up and helped me become who I am today. I love you and thank you for everything.
That's great. Wow.
Way better than mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm Piper, and I'm the middle grandchild out of all of them, so obviously I'm the favorite.
She's a Schneiderman.
No, I'm the middle child. It's about time. Okay, so, I just want to say happy birthday, even though you're so old now. Thank you for being a huge part of my life, and have a good birthday, 80 year.
This is what an octogenarian looks like.
All right.
Okay? All right, so we have a few people who have volunteered to speak. Anyone want to go first? Ken. Ken Ludwig.
I would love to say something about Marty. This will give me great pleasure.
Here, Wayne.
I gotta move.
No.
No. All right. Marty's birthday. I actually prepared some remarks, and I forgot them. I had to write them down again. This is a big day. Was it a week ago that he actually?
Yeah.
Yeah. A week ago today, is why I had to make notes. He turned. Oh my God. I'm not going to say it. I know it would embarrass him, and I'll tease him about. Look, I won't tell you how old he is, but when he was born, cars had not been invented yet. Boats had not been invented yet. Actually, that's not true. I saw the Vikings. He was in the iPad. I don't want to tease him about his age, but I'm going to tell you a few things about Marty. We've been friends for as long as I remember, and some special things about our friendship. One of them has centered around Chinese food. We happen to love Chinese food. Our family does, as do the Schneidermans, as do most of the Jews in this room. But when Adrian and I go out to dinner with them, which is very frequently, I'll say, what are we eating? I'll say, let's get Chinese. And Marty's big thing is, no, we're not doing Chinese. Is this true?
Is absolutely
He
true.
refuses to do Chinese food. And the reason he refuses to do Chinese food is that, Marty, that's one of your favorite things in the whole world. You're refusing. And he says, no, because I eat too much. Because it's all there, I can keep going back, and whenever it's Chinese food, I eat too much. And if it's other things, it's a specific plate, and I can't eat too much. This is absolutely true. So he'll never have Chinese food with us very often anymore. And I'll say, okay, Marty, all right, fine. Don't do our favorite. We won't have Chinese food. What do you want? What do you want to eat? And then he'll say, I'd like 4 chickens and a brisket. And, but he won't eat Chinese food. Second, obsessions with Marty. One is not eating Chinese food. Second is convertibles. And he he loves convertibles. He drives convertibles. He drives convertibles because he feels it makes him feel younger. He gets to the convertible, he says, I feel 79 again. But he likes convertibles. What else does he like? His biggest thing now is pickleball. Does he hockey? Anybody else about pickleball? Oh, when I'm with him, all he wants to do is get me to play pickleball. Anybody else? Yeah, do you play pickleball?
Sure.
Yeah. He insists this is a young man's game. He says, "Oh no, it makes me feel young again." The average age at the promenade of people who play, I did a survey, it's 104. Nobody who's young plays pickleball. Excuse me. You should excuse
None
me.
taken.
So he tries. You grow old playing pickleball. He took Olivia. Where's Olivia? He took Olivia to play pickleball once. She was 25 when she left.
Wait,
She was 30 when she came back.
Tell them why you won't play pickleball.
Because of the name. The name's so ridiculous. Who would play anything called pickleball? So we're not. I know everybody. Lots of people brought presents. But I do want to give you this because this is something. I've told him not to play with these. He's constantly playing with his balls, so he needed a new set. So yeah, now there's a new set of picklballs. You don't even have to open it.
I know.
Okay. And so he doesn't hawk us anymore because he has to rent a racket. He gets the cheapest racket. He won't spring for a racket. So we got you a pickleball.
I wanted to improve my balls, so thank you.
It's not going to help
Really
you.
appreciate it.
It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. The truth of the matter is, because he has his nearest and dearest with him here, and whenever I do these things and talk about Marty, I don't like to say nice things. It's just not my nature. I'm such a grumpy guy. Marty is truly the most extraordinary man I know. He is among the 3 best humans I've ever known. He is obviously a best friend. He's a best grandfather. He's a best father. He's a best husband. He is extraordinary. In thinking about what to say about Marty, I thought about this. The truth is, I have never ever heard Marty speak ill of anyone. You know what I mean? If anything comes, the only person is Silverman, maybe.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. Other than Silverman, he never speaks ill of anyone, but he doesn't. The truth is, he doesn't. He is really, really I think the best friend anyone could have, and the best man we all know. So, happy birthday.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. That's very nice. Wow.
So who's next? Any volunteers? Reg, Mark?
Bill.
Here comes Silverman.
Silverman's coming.
Uh-oh.
I'd rather follow Silverman. That's all
I
I'm
didn't
saying
know
to
you were going to speak. Okay.
He's typed him up.
Here comes the
Wayne,
tax
may I
people.
pass by?
Wayne, watch out.
What can I do? Oh, look at that. Holy cow.
I know.
Hey, you only got 3 minutes here. Look at the notes.
Hi.
You got to speak right into
Hi.
Hi. Okay, I've been asked to say a few words about Marty. And the person who requested it emphasized the few. So, I'm not sure anybody knows that Marty was the first Jewish lawyer hired at Steptoe. The Colonel, Louis Johnson, the co-founder of Steptoe and Johnson, had learned of Marty from a very close friend, John W. Davis, the leader of Davis Polk in New York. Davis was a contemporary of Marty as they each attended Columbia Law School. Davis informed the Colonel that Phil Lacavara was first in the class at Columbia at Marty's year. The Colonel rejected Lacavara as he was Italian. The Colonel did not like Italians. He was far more comfortable with Jews, thus Marty. The Colonel's largest client at the time was Louis B. Mayer, the founder of MGM, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, and Jewish. The Colonel, being a sports fanatic, assigned Marty to manage the firm's sports practice. In this sports role, and coming from Boston, it was Marty that became close friends with Johnny Most. Johnny and Marty often broadcast Celtic games together. Marty was proficient in tennis, which, as I'm sure many of you know, was the precursor to pickleball, a sport Marty helped create. More importantly, Marty became the leader in managing seating at large sporting arenas around the country. Moreover, Louis urged the Colonel to involve Marty in writing, producing, and directing movies. As you all know, Marty is Steptoe's most successful movie maker.
So far.
Finally, an actual true story from many years ago. Marty and I were working on a transaction in Boston. After our meeting and before going to the airport, Marty explained that he needed to do some shopping. He took me to Filene's basement, where he proceeded to try on all types of clothing on the main floor of the store. That included removing some items of clothing and trying on others, in front of hundreds of people doing exactly the same thing. We finally left for the airport, Marty carrying 2 full shopping bags of clothing and me carrying Marty's briefcase. The relationship with Marty after that experience has never been the same. All I can say at this point is it took me 30 seconds to write this, 2 hours to type it. Happy birthday, Marty.
Oh, thank you. That speech will go down in the annals of history.
Thank you, Mark. Paul, would you like to go next?
I started reading
And somebody whispered in my ear a few minutes
Yeah,
ago.
you say it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Go. Let's go. Hello.
Somebody whispered in my ear a few minutes ago that Lorraine Andrasik, where is she?
This is right here.
That today is her 70th birthday.
All Have a deli sandwich on me. Go ahead. Come on.
Anyway, this
But I'm not giving her a party. I'm going to play on some of the same themes that Mark had, except
hold it closer.
I was surprised to know that Marty's Jewish. It's the first time. We all know what a wonderful father, family man, and friend that Marty is. That's why we're all here. So I'm not going to say any more about that. What I'd like to do is talk about Marty the lawyer, which is another area that he excels at. It was my good fortune to work with Marty basically from the first day I arrived at Steptoe more than 45 years ago. He was a relatively new partner. I was a brand new associate, and we worked together over the years, and it was really the start of a beautiful friendship. He was sort of a mentor to me.
He gave me my first opportunity to argue in court. Gave me. You probably don't remember the case.
The case is the pilots?
Yes. The first time I put witnesses on in court was with Marty. And he gave me a lot of advice. And I learned some great things from the master. First of all, one of my first lessons was never give a partner the original or only copy of a document. You never know where it's going to end up. Since I have about the same skills that Marty has as an organization, I've adopted that rule and followed it over the years. Another rule is to have a devoted and great secretary. And I'm thinking about the long-suffering Georgia Franks. I don't know how many people remember Georgia. But we were working on a case. We were there late one night, Marty, myself, and Georgia. And Marty offered to give Georgia a ride home. This is at 12:50, where they used to have the attendant bring your car up from the garage. We went up downstairs. We waited for the car to come up for quite a while. Finally, Marty went down to look for the car. He comes up empty-handed. He confesses to Georgia that he didn't drive that day. And then he confessed, I forgot my wallet also. Then you lend me cab fare to get home, which she did. That's real devotion.
That's it.
Over the years,
Nothing's changed.
over the years, we shared a lot of clients. We worked on a lot of matters together. We had a great time in Los Angeles. We had a big trial out there that went on for about a month and a half, something like that. And I learned some great travel lessons when I was out there with Marty. Number one, don't forget the points. There's points to be had.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you get them. Another tip, if you're staying on the floor of the hotel, the club floor with the concierge level, make sure you tip the attendant, because that way you get a lot of free stuff as the time goes on. And then he drove home a point that I learned from my mother many years ago, a lesson learned from my mom, and that was never pay full price. And this was true with respect to laundry service at the hotel, which can be quite expensive. Marty had an answer to that. That is, buy a lot of underwear when you're out there.
It's cheaper than cleaning it.
Buy a big suitcase and ship it home, because Marty was happy to wash it when he got home. So he wanted to make sure I got the point, but we were out there for like a long time. I celebrated a birthday out there and Marty bought me a present. Several pairs of underwear that he picked up from a street merchant at a flea market. So he proved he didn't pay full price. By the way, we did win the case. But all kidding aside, Marty's a great lawyer. He was a pleasure, is a pleasure to work with. You don't know anyone, there's no one who has your back better. There's not a better teammate when you're out in the trenches, and for lots of reasons. One, he's really smart. He's a great strategist. He's really good on his feet, believe it or not. He is terrific in court. You never saw somebody on cross-examination master the Columbo method like Marty Schneider. He's terrific. And he's really, I don't know where he gets his energy. He's untiring when we're working together. So it was a great experience for me. I wish we were still working together. And I can't say anything more but wish you an 80th birthday and happy one. And it's great to be with you as always.
Wow, I guess
It was a lot of fun.
great. It was great. Thank you.
Paul.
Should I start before
I
Ledge?
think Ledge is waiting in the
Well,
wings there.
I got a minute. I'll start a few minutes and then we'll take a break from me because I have a long speech.
Nancy, gotta go.
Wait, they're not finished, don't you want?
Hold on. No, I'm relaxed. I'm sick. So, just a few days ago, there was a surprise birthday party for the 50th birthday party for my sweet daughter, Shelley. 50 years old. And
Impossible.
She is June 8th, 1972. I'm June 4th, 1942. And I thought, as a 50-year-old, and they're celebrating, God is looking down and says, you know what? You've had a fine education. Your children are about to go off to school. You now are looking forward to the festive feast of life. Now, I'm 80 years old. And I think God is looking down and saying, are you ready for your check yet? And I say, no. I want to look at the dessert menu, please. So, this is the dessert side of my life. So, I wanted to start off with that. I also want to say already how emotional I am about today, because I'm spending a whole lot of money on this luncheon. But I told Sharon, spare no expense, right? And you know what? I don't like saying that. I don't think I've ever said. Wait. One time on my bachelor party in Baltimore, I said spare no expense, but we won't talk about that. But that leads me in now to the fact that you all are here, interconnected through different elements of my life. By and large, in no particular order: basketball, legal practice, and family. That's what family was? Speaking about basketball, that's why let's introduce Ledge, who's going to talk about basketball. Ledge King.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
For my mugshot? Give me that mic.
Give me that mic. Yes,
Give me
sir.
that. Hi, everybody. I'm Ledge. And just to clear things up, we did not volunteer to speak. There was an exchange of money. You'll be happy to know she did not pay full price. But let me tell you about Marty's other life. A different kind of court, different kinds of trials. And we've had to shoulder that burden. For me, it's been 20 years. And I was lucky enough to get, well, my wife actually was the one that found the basketball game for me, and God, I'll never forgive her for that. But, so it's been about 20 years. When I first got there, it was a largely Jewish game with accountants and doctors and lawyers. Luckily, we've been able to sort of Gentile it a bit up with political consultants, media folks, and lawyers. Not much has changed, I guess, with Marty. When I first met him, he had a shock of white hair, a little bit of a paunch, and he could shoot the basketball like nobody's business. And he still does. He still can. And we've gone through some trials and tribulations of our own. He always makes me wear white, which, you know, is not good for me or my pride. Always got to be Doc. Oh, he calls himself a sharpshooter. We need an interpreter on the court to figure out half the things he says. You know, it's Doc's ball. It's you know, bring it over the cot. What are you talking about? Fun fact about Marty: the NBA did not exist when he was born. Okay, that is a true fun fact.
No, it's not.
Yes, it's true. He was 4 years old when it was created. So, you know, take that, Bob Pettit.
But it's not fun.
Huh? Anyway, so we've gone through a few trials. I've always had to wear white. You somehow lost all the sweet tickets to the sports events. The only reason I sucked up to you was to go to those games. Thanks a lot. And you know, the needless taunting on the court, which I'm sorry for. I'm sure you will. I have to give him a ride. But you know what? You know, we met through the love of basketball, and we have become close friends, I'd like to say, because of basketball. But lately, there's been a mistress that is preying upon our love. She's out in the corner. In the last 2 years, she's emerged. Pickleball. Pickle bleeping ball. And Marty, what does he do? He dressed up like a gherkin today to profess his love for not basketball. No, you'd be wearing orange, right? No. Look at you.
Really? You for me? But we can, I think, all agree that if not for Marty's, well, let's put it this way, Marty's greatest gift to all of us, at least to me, was meeting this lovely young woman. That's the only reason I still hang out with him. That and he lets me score 64 points every now and then. Happy birthday, buddy.
Oh my God. Thank you, man.
Yes. Take this away before the start talking.
Yeah?
I think
Wait,
Bill.
Yeah.
Wayne?
Okay.
James, Bill. Let's clear this group here.
Some of you have heard
Hold it closer.
part of this poem before, but since it was 30 years ago, I'm trusting it'll sound fresh and new to you.
One, two, three. Yeah, there we go. Go ahead.
Okay. So this is what I wrote for Marty on his 50th birthday. When I started out to write this poem, my mind o'er many themes did roam, but none was right. What could I say to catch the essence of the day? First, thought about Marty, the perfect son. By now the story's getting old. So many times it's been retold. How 50 years ago, I'm no liar, was the second coming of the Messiah. He was the apple of his mother's eye, a perfect child as the years went by. So as upon her son she doted, he was in turn to her devoted. From his dad he learned to be a man, to tell a story with elan. This polished raconteur we see was tutored at his father's knee. Well, that didn't work so well. So then I thought about Marty, the perfect husband and family man. When this Adonis of age was eligible, the odds to catch him were barely negligible. The girls came in droves and more. Things looked bleak for our Lenore. But to the others, he uttered nuts. I only have eyes for my darling toots. And the years have shown their choices wise, since both still think they caught the prize. Yes, 25 years of wedded bliss. Now it's 55. Yes, 25 years of wedded bliss shows they the target didn't miss. With a quaint love nest and children 3, it reminds us of that bunch Brady. I don't know, that didn't work so well. So then I thought about Marty, the perfect lawyer. A Title VII lawyer great, he helps employers discriminate. Whatever they do, he'll litigate if they can afford his hourly rate. So he's always willing to educate, but he's also willing to educate for the price of a meal. He gives his aides spiel and shows them what they should not do when conducting a hiring interview. I don't know, he interviewed Lenore and committed
The application.
committed how many mistakes in the first 3 minutes? Excuse me. So none of these themes was just right. Then came the insight. At last I was the answer shown. Despite his years, he hasn't grown. On reflection, I'm just not sure that Marty ever did mature. We all know of his high-tech toys, the hoops games weekly with the boys, and who would attend a step-toe party without a video produced by Marty? These videos are not high class. In fact, their themes are downright crass. It isn't just a vulgar rumor that one even features bathroom humor. You had to see it, but he had the lawyers working in the stalls in the men's room. These, let's see. So that's my theme. It is your youth. Now some might say you are uncouth, but I say great, the world's your stage. I hope you never act your age.
Hey!
No doctor for knocking?
All right. No, this is the only good poem I ever wrote. So now, on Marty's 80th birthday.
A little louder.
30 more times the Earth has done its orbiting around the sun. Friends and family again unite to celebrate his 80th birthday right. As Marty now turns his life's next page, he's made no concession to his age. Hoops still holds him in enthrall. He's even added pickleball. He retains the youth we saw before. The calendar can't touch his core. So Marty, here's to you our birthday toast. Keep making of your life the most.
All right. Thank you, guys. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Wow.
Anybody else?
Wayne had.
Oh, Wayne wanted to.
Oh, Shelley, could you hold that?
Yeah.
She's doing her own.
I got it.
She got it.
Adam will hold it.
Adam will hold it. Is it running?
By the way, we're also celebrating Adam's birthday,
Yeah.
June 9th.
Some of these have been made in this millennium stuff.
Should be once.
Get right in his face. He likes it. So say that again. Say that again.
There you go.
Well, I think that between Carol and me, we've known Marty the longest because Carol went to law school with Lenore, 100 years ago?
At least.
At least 100 years ago, and then met Marty at that time, before they were even married. So I think that predates just about everybody here. And then I started playing basketball with Marty 50 years ago, in 1972. We used to play on the Chevy Chase playground, and for a long time we played every single week, and sometimes more, together. And then I remember when there came a point in time when we decided to see whether our kids, who were about the same age, would get along with each other. So we went up to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Remember that? To the farm, and with our families. And it turned out that the kids did get along with each other. And after that, we went on cruises, and we went to Concord. We went every place together for many years, and then everybody grew up, and it became more difficult. A few of the things, everybody said so many things. A few of the things that are most memorable about Marty, when Carol and I connected, and we were going to connect again with Lenore and Marty, we decided to go out to a restaurant, and Marty insisted that we go to a very nice restaurant in downtown DC, which we would not normally do because we lived in Maryland. And I was wondering why this particular restaurant had, such importance, because he'd never been there, and, we'd never been there. And as it turned out, that Marty had a coupon for the restaurant, and so that's why we had our little reunion at that particular restaurant. And I remember Carol asking me afterwards, "Is that typical of Marty?" And I said, "Yeah, that was about what I expected." And he said, "That's the way I remember him as well." And so, not necessarily a good feature, but it's been consistent throughout your life. And we're accustomed to going to restaurants where you have coupons. That's been our life together. And we go to hotels where Marty, you know, when we travel together, we have to go to the Marriott because that's where Marty has points, and it's sort of following Marty's points around. And I remember, you know, some of these little things. What else? I don't know whether Carol wants to say anything about Marty, because I want to make this a very comprehensive presentation. So many nice things have been said, and most of them are true. Some of them are not true, but you know, a lot of them were true. Certainly, his devotion to family. I don't think he's that good a lawyer, quite frankly, but I'll leave it to you folks to determine whether that's the case. He's not much of a basketball player. He talks a better game than he actually plays. But 1 out of 3 isn't bad. So that's fine.
So as Wayne said, I have known Lenore
1966.
Since 1966, and it's been one of the pleasures of my life to reconnect with her. When Wayne and I met, actually he was over at my house and he saw by my telephone some emergency numbers, one of which was Nancy Silverman. So he said, "Oh, I know Nancy." And I said, "How do you know Nancy?" He says, "Oh, through the Schneidermans." Oh, I said, "Oh, well, I know the Schneidermans too." Anyway, that was a nice coincidence. We've had a lot of coincidences in our life. But the Schneidermans have been wonderful friends. They have made our life, they've enriched our life so much. And thank you very much.
All right.
So happy birthday, Marty, from all of us.
All right. Thank you. All right. Oh, this is Jim. All right.
All right, now, is it your turn?
I have a few more words in rebuttal. I reserve minutes in rebuttal here. Okay, first of all, let's talk about basketball. I have to say that basketball was my first love because I wasn't much good at romance in high school. So truly basketball was the first love, and it's been a constant throughout my life. But the real benefit of basketball is that it has permitted us to make good friends like Wayne. I mean, 3 years we were playing outdoors. I didn't even know his first name. Finally, we got to know him, and little did I know he's one of the foremost consultants on FDA. He is a top-notch person in that area. Ask him and he'll tell you. So, is that right, Wayne? Is it? Yeah, it's true. All right. Also, we're talking about basketball. I see Jim Singer is here. Before COVID, we played basketball Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, and Sunday. And he told me, seriously, he said, "I'm playing this much. My wife says I'm seeing more of you than I am of me, and I like it that way." So that's, I caused some trouble there. Bert Zora is here. Bert is just an amazing athlete. We played basketball for Sunday for 40 years, and he's again amazing athlete. He could run with the best of them and shoot with the worst of them. So we just said together one of us would be a decent player if we merged together for sure. Then there's Ledge, who you just heard from. Fortunately for me, he has 2 bad knees, so I could sort of keep up with him and defending him. So that's extended my life in basketball. And he has accepted the challenge of covering me by ignoring me in basketball. He'll cover someone else and let me shoot.
Lenore, I'll let you all know about ignoring him later.
Now,
We've mastered that.
now I've found he has a sense of humor that you got a sense of, but it takes a very special person, depraved, to appreciate his sense of humor, basically, as I see it. But typical of what he did, there was a game that we were playing, and I hit 3 threes outside in a row. And the rest of the team said, Ledge, will you cover him? And he said, look, Methuselah only has a few years to live. Let him shoot. So at 72, that's funny. At 80 now, I don't want to hear that anymore. That's about it. Okay, so I think I covered all the basketball folks. Now I got to go on to legal practice. Legal practice at Steptoe has been terrific. I mean, I have to say that when I graduated high in the class at college, high in the class at law school, Air Force Honors Program, I thought it was a real hot shit, negotiated a good contract, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing Chuck Cole from Harvard, and Sam Perkins from Yale, and Paul Androsik from Princeton and UVA, and I was working with them and said, shit, I better pick up a paper boot course because these guys are really amazing. They've for years they've made me look good, and I've had a terrific time at Steptoe. Did I miss anyone? Well, I can't cover everyone, but huh?
McLaughlin?
Well, McLaughlin, he's still playing softball. McLaughlin and Goldman. McLaughlin and Goldman are key people here because they're older than me. Thank God. I didn't want to be the oldest person. So appreciate you all coming and make me feel young again.
And Phil? Don't forget Phil.
Don't forget Phil. I forgot Phil. So no, there was I got to talk about family. No, I'm going to end this with family. Lenore already introduced you to the fam, and so I don't have to go through it. I'll have to say I have 6 grandchildren, 5 beautiful girls, and only 1 boy. He's 6'2", and 6'3" in junior high school, and doesn't like basketball. Jeez. I didn't like that. But fortunately, the thing is that back when I was 55 years ago and more, I wasn't exactly mature when it came to issues of romance. And it's just a matter of fortuitous luck that I happened to pick the right lady to marry. And it's been a great run, and I hope we could continue.
Another 55 years.
Okay, another 55 years.
We won't be here.
So everyone, thank you very much for coming. I know the distance to Baltimore is amazing. I appreciate it, and it was a great time. So thank you very much. All right.
So we have a quick surprise before we wrap up. But first of all, I just want everyone to know I wrote some really, really fabulous jokes for this toast, but we're running a little late. We have a surprise, so I'll save them for your eulogy.
With the Shiva platter.
For the Shiva.
Exactly. Please help yourself to the Shiva.
So, but Tootsie, while you're here, we want to invite you. We have the Tootsie dedicated basketball court in front. We've got a couple basketballs. We want to get a few pictures of you by the sign and invite you and your friends to take a couple shots out there. And then for the grandkids, we also have a little surprise out on the basketball hoop. So everyone who wants to come watch Tootsie under pressure try to take one of his famous 3-pointers and see the dedication sign that's come out and do that right now for just a few minutes.
Okay, need some food though. We have loads of food.
We've got dessert. We've got dessert coming too. So don't go anywhere. But come out that way.
Right, the kids.
All right.
Tootsie, come here for a second.
Okay.
Girls.